Hey guys, welcome and welcome back. Tisha here, back for another Love and Marriage Huntsville review. Go ahead and like the video as I jump into my opinions and then the review. Let's be clear. Martell can sit up here all he wants to and try to rewrite history. Martell openly admitted over a year ago on Queen Sheba's YouTube channel that there were certain exchanges that would be considered revenge P. He didn't say it like that, but he told on himself, and I'm going to leave the link in the description box for those of you who didn't see it and need a quick reference, because I don't appreciate the way that they're sitting here and they're playing around with stuff and they're rewriting history. I don't care if you like Mel or not, if you agree with the things that she's done or not. Let's call a spade, and let's be honest about the situation that is Martell Holt and how he has been harassing his wife over the years. So the episode begins with Destiny and Martell at her new spot, which is a storage unit. I'm not playing. When they were rolling in, I was like, is this a storage unit? And Martell even says it's a storage unit. I don't care what she calls it. I don't care how people have fixed it up. It very much so is giving storage unit with the way the halls are structured, the pull down doors and all those other things. Now, if she decides to change it out later for an open door, I don't even see how this makes code, but it is what it is. So they talk about, some of the setbacks that Madani has had and how Destiny has been arrested, and then they talk about Maurice's arrest, and Destiny wonders if this is a target out on the people of Huntsville. No, it's not a target. Do what you're supposed to do and you will not be arrested. But y'all are cutting up in these Huntsville streets, and for whatever reason, you don't think it's going to get back to you, or you think you're going to be given chance after chance like Martell has. So the subject of Martell's text situation comes up. Martell is saying, as Destiny's telling him, like, he better act right and all this other stuff. Like, I wasn't, convicted. I didn't get convicted of everything. What the news is saying and what the media is putting out is fake. It's fake news, but it's not fake news. Him saying that he's appealing something is just that. It's him appealing something. It doesn't mean he wasn't found guilty, because he was found guilty. He has suspended time and he's told that he's supposed to stay away from her and other things like that. And he's trying to appeal it. But Martell is going to rewrite it and production is going to let him. So Martell points out that out of all the people, all the cast and his friends, the only person who really checked on him is Destiny. The guys didn't really check on him. Why would they? You weren't in danger. You weren't in there for a long time. You were quickly released. You got out. I don't know who paid for it, but you got out. So why were they checking on you when you're the one who put yourself in this situation? He then tells Destiny how he's upset with Marceau because he saw a clip of Marceau, and Marceau in the clip that we're shown was actually seeming like he was taking Mel's side. He didn't say he was taking Mel's side, but he said things that would support women who have been in this situation. In the interview, he said there is a place for people who take certain images of their partners and they try to release them. He's right. I agree. You can't get mad at the man for being honest. You saying that you posting pictures isn't a situation and it didn't happen isn't true. Don't sit there and make threats to your ex-wife where she's shown images of herself doing things with you, and now you're trying to act like it's not revenge P. It is. It's a true thing, and it's what he did. So rather than Destiny calling him out in that moment about what he did, she's talking to him about how she's sorry that he didn't feel supported. Destiny, you claim that you don't take sides. This is a clear example to me of how you take sides. I get you and Mel aren't where you were, but call a thing and say, had it been a different situation, you wouldn't have wanted it to happen to you. So on to Mel and Kimmy. Mel meets up with Kimmy to work out and to find out information about Reese. She hands her a Millimeters t-shirt and she walks in. Mel is too extra to me because she's so shirt for you, girl. The girl says she doesn't need it, and you just want her to put on that millimeter shirt because you're trying to be funny. It's all the extraness that comes off as disingenuous. I like Mel on some days, but I gotta call a thing a thing. So despite Kimmy's lungs not working like they used to, she is still keeping up, and it looks like they're having a good time. The trainer steps out to warm up some food, some squash, looked like, she said squash spaghetti. It looked like lasagna kind of, but squash spaghetti. And they discuss the trip. So Kimmy says there were little spats here and there, but overall it turned out better than she thought it would be. And it seemed like a lot of people seemed to make up. Mel says, that's what I thought too. I thought we were in a better place. Destiny even at one point came up to me and apologized. And we saw that. And then she says, we come back from the trip and I see different videos of Destiny. So you apologize to me on the trip, but then you're talking junk about me in my interviews. You're still talking about me being a bad friend, and you're still talking about me not being true to who I am. And I don't like that she's still throwing jabs after we had our little moment on vacation. She says it's giving Tisha energy. Mel, if you and Tisha are on a level playing field, which Kimmy asked you that and you say yes, there was no point in you in that moment throwing a jab at Tisha. Tisha doesn't have anything to do with this conversation. Tisha actually has left you alone, so leave Tisha alone. So Miss Deborah comes in, brings the food. We don't see them wash their hands, but we see them eating. Mel's like, in spite of everything that you're going through, girl, you look good. She told us last week that she doesn't care about Reese, but this week she wants to inquire. I don't know if she's doing it for the show or if she's doing it because she's being nosy. I think it's a little combination of both. So she's like, I saw everything going on and that's why I checked on you. I'm guessing that this is her checking on Kimmy because Kimmy later says that nobody checked on him except for two people. So she tells her, I get it. I get how it feels when a spouse acts up. You're sitting here trying to get information knowing that Kimmy is not going to disclose anything about her man. Kimmy says everything that they do affects all of us. It's just the thing where you got to stand by your person and allow the system to play out the way it's going to play out. But she's okay. She said there was a moment where she tried to figure out exactly what happened. And Mel wants to know, was he out drinking in the middle of the day? And Kimmy's like, there's no comment to be made about that. In other words, I'm not about to sit up here and incriminate my man. And I'm definitely not going to be telling you about that on camera or telling you of all people so you can then go back and later talk about it with one of your friends. She says, well, it's public knowledge what the situation is. So Mel's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a yes then. And Kimmy's like, no, don't put words in my mouth. Don't say that. That's not what I said. Mel isn't telling people her business. So I kind of need for Mel to step back a little bit in this situation, which involves the courts, and understand why these people aren't telling their business. Mel tells us in confessional, when it comes to other people's business, people got a lot to say about the things that are going on. I know that that's directed a lot towards the Scotts, but when it comes to their own, people are quiet. That is true. That goes for everyone in this cast. But understand, Mel is now in that category as well. I think that Mel gave so much in the beginning seasons that now Mel isn't really giving as much as she thinks she's giving. And it kind of comes across as Mel is stirring the pot and being messy on occasions too. So we're off to Tisha and Marceau. Marceau is meeting up with some of his team to talk about the house they're building and what the expectations are. Tisha arrives and she says that she wants to send out marketing letters to people in the community, letting them know what they're doing. She wants them to feel like they're involved. She wants them to be aware that they're building something that's different. It's going to look different, but it's going to add value to the community. I feel like despite Marceau always trying to downplay Tisha, Tisha is smart, because if they are building houses for X amount of dollars and it looks like it's going to be more than what's currently out there, this will help add value to the other homes that surround them, which could also bring them future business because, hey, they may want some renovation or things like that done and they could reach out to them. So it's a very smart move. He doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want the opinion of the neighbors, but the neighbors aren't going to be giving you their opinions. You've already got approval to build there, so it doesn't matter what they got to say, unless you got an HOA or something to deal with. So Tisha asks, Marceau, have you talked to Martell? And Marcel's like, I don't have no desire to talk to him. I feel like the relationship has ran its course. My question about that is, given the things that Martell has done and said, because it wasn't just Mel, it was Martell putting a bug in Mel's ears and telling Mel certain things that Tisha's husband supposedly did, which I think he did do some of them. But given that, why would Tisha encourage him to reach out to him? Does you think that he has some stuff on him? Does he have some stuff on you? I don't get it. Because if you were trying at every turn to cause division in my marriage, if you cause problems with us where I'm questioning him and wondering if he's being faithful to me, the last thing I'm going to do is worry about him reaching out and checking in on you. Tisha then brings up Reese's DUI, and Marceau says, there's nothing for me to say to him. He came the day after we talked. Like, the wake-up call, as far as I'm concerned, should be the incident. If being suspected of a DUI isn't enough for him to make better decisions, then there's nothing more that needs to be said. There's nothing that I can say. I do agree with that. I do agree, like, how much more can I say? But I do feel like you should say something, especially if that's someone that you care about. Like, talk about the seriousness of the situation, how they could have injured someone, etc. But I want to know, what else has Marceau seen? What else has he witnessed from his brother Reese that has him backing up from this situation, that has him not wanting to get involved and talk to his brother about it? One. Number two, why are you snapping on your wife for being concerned about your brother and making sure that you're speaking in a way to him that she probably cannot? It's not making sense. I don't understand why he's snapping the way he's snapping. He seems like he's overly irritated with Tisha just for being concerned. He said that he knows his brother and he'll talk to him. Tisha wants him to make sure that, Marceau tells Reese that he cares. And Marceau is irritated because he's like, after 45 years, I know how to talk to my brother. I just don't understand why it requires all of this. Were you upset that she brought it up on the show? Like, what was the reason why you seem so irritated with her? On to Kimmy and Destiny. So Destiny is at the trophy shop for her adult field day because she wants to pass out trophies for her BD Energy Field Day, and then have a BD convo after it. It screams mess. As soon as she said it, I said, this is going to be a mess. And I don't understand why Destiny, who doesn't even tell us all the stuff that she has going on, who hasn't been honest about her situation with her ex, is now sitting here trying to have these people open up about the things that they need to talk about. But whatever, it's the show, and that's what her role is, because we're not talking about Sonny and Moses. So what else does she have to give? So Kimmy meets her there, and she asks her, like, okay, you're trying to have this conversation, but are you in the position to do that? Because Mel told me that, she thought y'all were good, but you're still talking about her. And she's like, well, yeah, I think I can have the conversation. And, what did she say I said? Because she's invited to the BD game too. I don't understand how y'all are sitting here acting like Mel would ever at any point come to this game knowing that the girl has a restraining order out on him and she will not be participating if the ex is there. They began season 8, last season, I think it's 8, with her having security around her premises, looking at things and things of that nature because of the things that this man was doing. So why would you think now that she's going to come and play games with him when she already made it be clear that she's not filming with him, that she won't be in the same room with him, and she has something in place that says she doesn't have to? So Destiny's like, okay, well, can you call Mel? So she calls and she's like, I don't want to get in the middle of it. Kimmy, you cannot make statements like, I don't want to get in the middle of it, and I don't want to be involved in this, while wasting no time to run and tell Destiny how Mel felt that she low-key shaded her based on the interviews, putting yourself in the middle. So it goes straight to voicemail, and Destiny says, blocked. Oh, you got blocked. And she laughs about it. She's like, oh, I'm not blocked. She says, okay, well, can you invite Mel? No point in her inviting Mel because Mel wouldn't go. She then like, how is Maurice doing? And Kimmy says, he's doing good. And you and Martell are the only ones that checked on him. She's like, I appreciated that. She then tells us, Kimmy does, that, Mel did invite me over to work on my fitness and to make sure I was good. But she also called me over there to talk, to me about Maurice, to get the tea. That's true. That's why she did it. It is what it is. And really, I don't see why she did it, because it's not like she was going to find out anything. So it's time to play these games. Destiny is setting up. And I think that she should be playing too, but she's the referee and she has on the referee outfit to prove it. Let me tell you something. Destiny is a pretty girl, but those two skimp braids that she has coming down, I'm not really a fan. It's not doing anything for me. I want her to do something else. What kind of string? I want her to do something else with it other than what she's doing. Anyway, back to the thing. So she got on her little referee outfit. She claims that they need to, restore the group because everybody is talking about everybody on the internet and everybody has issues. And Tisha says, Destiny has, good intentions, but things are not going to be okay, especially as far as Martell is concerned, until Martell stops doing the things that he's doing. And Martell takes a look at himself and focus on fixing things about himself. It's true. But here's the thing. Why have you all not said some of these things in regards to Martell years before? Why is it that he's been allowed to do the things that he's done without little statements from you all up until this point? Because he's done a lot of cold stuff and a lot of y'all been mute about it. But here now that is getting as deep as it is, and he's continuing this talk that he does, now you want to have a problem with it. So Tisha says, they'll see how it goes. So the Fletchers arrive. Most of the Scotts are there with the exception of Kimmy. And Lance shows up. They're clearly having Lance come as a storyline. Nell makes a big deal about it. Martell shows up. Marceau says, he no longer wishes to have a friendship with him. So him coming, it just is what it is. He then makes a comment. Martell does, he was wondering who that was in the pink. If Tisha would give Martell the time of day, Martell would very much so approach her, because there have been several instances where he has made comments about Tisha's body, and it's very inappropriate, especially because, number one, she is a married woman, and number two, Marceau is supposed to be your friend. And you keep on commenting. He did it when she had on the jean outfit at the expo. He keeps on commenting about her body. He's really digging Tisha's body. And Tisha does. Tisha looks good. The extra weight on her, I think, is good. I've always thought that Tisha was a pretty girl. But the way he's looking at her and making his little comments about her, it's inappropriate. So Martell opens up his mouth and he says, you didn't invite the main person that everybody has a problem with. Everybody doesn't have a problem with her. Now, you may have a problem with her and Destiny may have a problem with her, but the other people that are there at that point don't really have a problem with her. Everybody else is being cordial. So what are you talking about? You're showing all these clips, production editors, about the videos and the things that have been made. Well, some of them, because you didn't giving you the real T his credit for his video that he did with the Fletcher's daughter. But you're giving some of these other people credit. Why aren't we being honest about the situation? Why aren't we being honest about the restraining order and the real reason why Mel is not there? Why are we allowing this man to continually lie on national television about this situation? He's not supposed to be in close proximity to Mel. So let's tell it, but we're not going to do that. So Kimmy arrives and she tells us once again, continuing this thing that Mel just didn't show up, that she tried to reach out to Mel. Mel isn't responding. And given what she said about Destiny, she doesn't see it happening. So they play musical chairs and Martell ends up losing. And he's like, this isn't a BD game. And, you acting like this just because your little boyfriend is out here. And I'm like, why are you talking about Lance and saying your little boyfriend? It's giving, I want to do it to Destiny too, but Destiny don't want to do it to me. He very much so is always making like little slick comments that would make you feel like him and Destiny had a thing. At this point, I no longer think that. I think that he wanted a thing. I think that they flirt. I think that maybe a long time ago that there was something, but after all this mess and all the kids and all the drama and the way that he moves and how broke he is, Destiny don't want that man. They do tug of war. They do dodgeball. Scott 2.0's win. Kimmy gets the Big D trophy along with the BD body mist. So she hands them little ribbons and stuff, gives Lance a trophy for not being an F-boy yet, continuing to push this narrative that there's, maybe something there. I said, okay, we're going to try to get storylines in other ways because at this point we were running out of stuff to give and we know she's only going to give us surface, right? Destiny then starts her question game. She says, Martell, out of this group, who has hurt you the most other than the person who's not here? And what can you do to fix it? I said, okay, you're on my nerves again, because why do we keep on bringing up the person that's not there? And why does he need to keep on bringing up the person that's not there? He says he's a man, but, when certain things happen and when, stuff is put out there about him on social media and the internet, that he would appreciate it if people called him. And he didn't really get that. Destiny says, didn't you say something about an interview? Like, aren't you feeling a way, about what was said? And he says, yeah. Marceau, it's about you. He said, I had lost, respect for you. Because he's like, it's about the interview you did. And Marceau was like, I lost respect for you when it came to the Revenge P thing. Martell is like, where did that come from? Because that's not what I got arrested for. That wasn't it. There's no, what Revenge P are you talking about? What Revenge P are you talking about? He's rewriting history. You got arrested for harassing communications, which fell under that. And Marceau later says it. So Marceau's like, look, I didn't read your arrest report. I didn't read the details of it. I was doing an interview. They asked me a question. It was about that. And I answered it. So Martell's like, we supposed to be boys. Why would you even tell him that? Why would you even answer that? Because you did it. And because it's not right. And because at some point, somebody has to be honest about the stuff that you did. And because you've been threatening this man for years. And because you have whatever you may have on him, he hasn't spoken up like he should. And it seems like he's tired of being indebted to you. So Marceau said, you said a whole bunch of stuff about us that isn't true. He says, so how do I know whether or not it's true? Part of your stuff is harassing communications. I was asked a question. I responded. Destiny says, some of what you responded to, what if it wasn't true? Destiny, that it's true. You talk about how you call out stuff, so be honest about it or don't talk about it. Because it's true. We all know it's true. We've seen it. Despite him saying it wasn't true, Marceau's like, I don't really believe it. He lies all the time. He's like, I lie. What did I lie about? He said, you lied about me having 20 women. Martell says, I can bet you $50,000 that you did sleep with 20 women since being married to Tisha. Marcel's like, how about you show me the $50,000? Because I don't believe you got it, and neither do we. If you're begging Mel to pay for attorneys, if you're robbing money out of her bank account, if you're taking stuff that you're not supposed to take, if you don't have food in your house and Mel's having to buy food in your house, if you aren't being able to supply your kids with a home, if you've been staying at your mom's and all these other things, you aren't rolling in dough like you claim to be. Your only income at this point for real is the show. And maybe, I don't know if he gets stuff from social media. He says, I don't believe you have it. He says, okay, well, we could do a lie detector test. We could do a lie detector test. Destiny's like, I'm mad because nobody is saying anything. But Destiny, you know what a hothead this man is. You've seen it happen over the years. You saw him go after Wanda. You saw him go after Mel. You saw him and the Scots get into it before. We've seen extended clips of how stuff got cut off. So why did you not think this would be a thing? He's like, you know what? Stop talking so much. Stop talking so much, or I'm going to tell the truth about your stuff. Marcel's like, you keep saying stuff. You keep saying stuff in interviews. You keep talking about me. You keep saying things about me. Your girl says stuff about me. He's like, Martell says, I haven't had a girl for like 4 or 5 years. I said, oh, Coleslaw, you heard him? You ain't been his girl. Because he hasn't had one. He doesn't even consider you to be his girlfriend. And he didn't consider Sheree to be his girlfriend either then. I'm just saying. He then goes and is like, I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it. I'm going to grab my phone and you grab your phone. You pull out your phone and I pull out my phone and we can show it. Tisha's over it. Tisha then finally is like, show the receipts. Show the receipts. If you got proof, show it. I'm with Tisha because he comes back with the phone. You don't want to see this. You don't want to see it. If you really got something, as much as he runs his mouth, he would tell. He would show it. He would have gave it to the blogs. He would have told something, but he doesn't have anything because although I feel like Marceau did some dirt, he ain't do anything that man has proof of, other than that picture that his brother released. So Tisha's like, you've been saying for 7 years that you got proof. Show it. He's like, I haven't shown it. I haven't shown it because, I've always respected your marriage. How could you have always respected their marriage when you're the one who put out the whole 20 women in the first place? When you're the one who said these things, there's no way that you could respect their marriage because you would have said it off camera. You and your wife at the time put the rumors out about that. He's like, I haven't shown it because I respected your marriage. But Tisha, if I was you, I would want to see it too. And then it goes off. Y'all, tell me what you thought of this episode. We know that Marceau has cheated on Tisha. That's not even a question. But I'm tired of that being all Martell has. If you're not going to show us the pictures, if you're not going to show us the messages and the proof, I don't want to hear about it anymore because it's old. I don't want to hear about him and Mel anymore. Like, I just want them to get a whole new cast and revamp this thing and give us something that matters. But you all let me know what you thought of this. I wasn't expecting to be up here this long. Sorry for yelling. I got passionate about it because I got irritated. Until next time.